Well, hi, good morning, and thank you so much for joining me in my shop. Today I'm going to be looking at these speakers. These are Advent wireless speakers. But on my bench right now is my previous project, and in case you're watching my videos as I post them, you might be curious about what I'm doing with this radio. You see in the background here, which I finished doing the electronic work, and now I'm working on the cabinet. I'm just painting the end boards and a few other trim pieces here, and that's where that stands. So another day or two, this radio will be back inside this cabinet, and great, we'll take a look at that when the time comes. But for now, we're going to work on those wireless speakers. Okay, so what's up with these speakers? So I have another one just like this. I have a left and a right channel speaker. And these are fairly small, pretty heavy. Okay, they're powered. You have to put a power supply into them. And these are wireless speakers. Just looking at the screws on them right now. The thing about these wireless speakers, these are not Bluetooth. This is old school analog wireless speakers. These sound really good. But you know what? They don't sound at all because I never use them, because the wireless system is not that good. It's just an analog wireless speaker system. Here's the transmitter and other stuff that goes with it. Here. And they work. Two things happen, maybe two or three things happen. One is about every, 4 or 5 minutes, without any warning, a sudden chirp comes out of these speakers, very loud. It's not the speakers themselves, it's some kind of external interference, because I hear it on my wireless headphones too, and it comes out so loud and make you jump out of your skin. And so if you're using these speakers, at any moment this kind of shocking sound is going to come out of them. So that's kind of a drag. Don't know what's causing that. Again, it's not a problem with the speakers themselves, it's a problem with using it. Secondly, these speakers come with independent tuning and volume, and an on-off switch too. Which means when you're using them and setting them up, if you want to change the volume, you have to go up to each speaker and fiddle around with the volume control. Half the time you grab the wrong one, and sometimes one speaker be tuned just a little off, and it'll produce noise and interference, as you might imagine, from a radio not tuned right on the station. All these things, and today we live in a world of Bluetooth. So consequently, these have sat around doing nothing until one day I said to myself, well, why do I have to use the wireless feature? Why can't I use them as just regular speakers? They sound so great. So that's the question. Can I turn these into just regular speakers that you would hook up to a stereo or something like that? I kind of abandon the wireless part, which would mean abandoning the radio that's in here, the radio receiver, and also abandoning perhaps the amplifier that's in here. There must be like a radio receiver and an amplifier. I was thinking maybe I can get a signal to the amplifier and then have it come out the speakers, but that sounds like a headache. It'd be much easier just to turn them into regular speakers, and I have a place I can use these right away. As I said before, these are good sounding speakers. If they weren't, I wouldn't bother with this. Some interesting things on the back here. What is that supposed to be? I don't know. And then there's a little grill here too. Almost looks like the radio power supply is down in this part here. That's where the weight is, I think. No, these are not battery operated. I have another set of wireless speakers that are battery operated, or you can operate them with batteries, but not these. Ricoton Corporation. And then something has been wiped out here. You white it out. Made in, guess where? Made in China. Surprise. Okay, so I think it's just a matter of taking the cover off and exposing the speakers. Now I've noticed that there seems to be a plate right here with 4 screws, and then there's 4 more screws, maybe more, 4? No, just 4 screws holding more of this to the front. speakers are bound to be mounted up towards the front. So what you gain access to by taking this off, I don't know, but let's find out. These speakers have been sitting idle for quite a few years now, but about once a year I bring them out and try to put them to work, and every time I'm dissatisfied with the result. Not the sound. The sound quality is great. The other problems and annoyances. So why would they put this access panel here unless there was something to access? And what would you want to access? These are probably from 1995, I would guess, something like that. A battery compartment. I had no idea that these could work with batteries too. But look at how many batteries. 8 of them, and it eats the batteries too. I know from my other speaker. Okay, so that's what you get with this. I'm going to put it back on. Get much of anything there. I had no idea that you could put some batteries in here. That'd make them really handy for a party or something like that. Which I guess was the idea, because you could just whip them out on your deck or anywhere you like. Just buy a lot of batteries first, that's for sure. Oh, time to do the Canadian thing and talk about the weather here. Weather's definitely changing. It's getting colder. And we have just a little dusting of snow. Not much, but my snow blower is in my garage now. Brought it down from my shed for it sits all summer and brought it down. It's ready to go. Well, I don't know. Is it ready to go? I didn't start it up. It's a big gas powered. It's a big machine. Big gas-powered snowblower. And weather reports are confusing right now about what's coming. So, because I live kind of right among the Great Lakes, the lakes are large enough that they affect the local weather quite dramatically, especially when it comes to what are called snow streamers, where the air blows over the lake. It's a very big lake. Picks up moisture, and then when it leaves the lake, gets back on land, it begins to drop the moisture in the form of snow. And these things come in long, thin lines off the lake. So you literally can be standing somewhere being snowed on like crazy, but just 500 meters in either direction, the sky can be blue. Or you can be in a blizzard, blue sky, almost within sight. It's a strange effect. Don't know where else in the world that kind of thing would happen, but I suppose it does. And the streamers come off the lakes in all directions, so anybody who lives near the Great Lakes knows what I'm talking about. You can be driving down the road, and the sky is blue above you, and the sun is shining, and everything's great. And up ahead you'll see what looks like fog. And, well, what's that? Fog? And when you drive into it, it's a blizzard. We go boom, right into a blizzard, and it can be quite dangerous. Okay, this is coming apart on its own. So that's oh, here we come. Fantastic, just what I was hoping for. It's important sound stuff. Look at this. There's just 2 wires coming up. Now, is that a little amplifier there? No, it can't be. This is a crossover between the tweeter and the woofer. Can I call that a woofer? Is it big enough to call a woofer? Well, this is going to be easy from here. The answer is yes, I can do this. So, what I'm going to do is figure out where to mount a jack. There isn't already one on here by some. Oh, there's the power jack. I got to get into the power thing to utilize that. But I drill a hole, mount a jack somewhere, and So, or maybe some wire terminals somewhere on here. Maybe I can punch through into the battery compartment and put the jacks in here. Well, they'll almost look like they belong there. Then I can just work on this plate, which I can remove from here. Fantastic. Do we have to test this to be sure it can work? I don't think so. I don't think there's any doubt it's going to work. Okay, I'm going to reward myself with some coffee. So while I was drinking my coffee, I was thinking more about this, and I realized, how do I know for sure what this speaker is going to sound like? Is there a chance that the amplifier that's inside here is like boosting the bass or doing something to the sound to make it much better? And if I eliminate the amplifier and the radio receiver and just put an audio signal into this wire, just use the speakers as they are, they won't have that benefit. And they won't sound the way they sound when they're operated properly. So to figure that out, I've decided to play music. I think playing music through speakers is the best way to judge them, to actually listen to them for real, not to put sine waves through them and stuff like that. So how am I going to put some good quality sound into this speaker, and what am I going to do? How am I going to compare it? Well, here's another speaker. Okay. Here's another one. Now, it's got Sony on the top of it. It's got some weight, but nothing surprising. I don't think these are particularly good speakers, but I'm using these. You see a little bit of cat fur on them. These are the rear speakers for my where I watch TV. So I want to compare the sound of this speaker. It's a very large fitting here, but the speaker itself is probably much smaller. Compare these to those, or this to that. So I brought in this amplifier because, believe it or not, even though I've got a house full of vintage stereos, it's not easy to get up the speaker wires and all that kind of stuff. So I brought this guy in as a spare amp, and we just use the radio receiver in here and tune in a strong FM station, get a nice signal, play it out of both these speakers at the same time, maybe do the balance thing back and forth, and then judge what's going on, judge if this is going to work out the way I plan to have it work out. That's my scheme. Okay, I get a lot of schemes in here. About a good 20% of them completely fail, so we'll see what happens with this one. Okay, almost got it together here, but I decided rather than try the FM radio, which may be trouble, I'll use this CD player. Now this is a really interesting CD player. Let me tell you about this guy. So back in the day when CDs were a brand new thing and nobody had them, nobody had the player, nobody had the CDs, but they were already existing in Japan, I guess, and they were trying to promote them in North America. Sony, the maker of this player, presented a CD player to one of the main radio stations in Toronto at that time, probably still is, called CHFI 98.1, I think, on FM. Very popular radio station. Not playing rock music, but playing more middle of the road kind of stuff. So what they did was Sony provided them with a player and some discs, and they put it on the air. They put the CDs on the air for the first time. Now, coincidentally, I happened to be listening. And I don't normally listen to CHFI, but I was at that moment. And maybe this wasn't the very first CD. Maybe they were demonstrating it for the 5th time. I don't know. But they played a song from a CD player, and I heard it on the radio. And they go, this is the new thing that's going to replace records. They used this player. This actual machine is what they used. How did I get it? Because I had a friend who worked at that radio station, and some years later they were cleaning up and this thing was going to just be tossed out. And he grabbed it and he gave it to me. So you might think of this, although I'm sure it's not true, as the first CD player in Canada. I'm sure it's not true. And this is a very early CD player. Kind of, let's see, compact disc player. Anything special written on it? I don't think so. This is all power supply at the back here. pop this off, and the player is even smaller than what you see. Oh, power off and on. Lucky I did that. I forgot where the power switch was. Does it work? I don't even know if this works. Let's just flip it on here and look in the window. That's not a very good sign. I do not have a CD in it. Now, when I go to play the CD, I won't be able to play the sound over my video, or I'll get a copyright hit on the video. And I don't want that to happen. Oh, there she goes. It's spinning there. Well, we'll see if this works. Actually, I think I can. Well, yeah. Okay, so this is spinning. I'm gonna get it off the speaker and put it up here. Just a little bit more secure. And we want to turn on this big old, I didn't figure on this part, big old machine here. It's not that old. It's definitely big though. Okay, power switch is, son of a gun, I can't see. I can't see. Okay, power's on. It's coming on with the tuner. Here's the volume. Well, that's balance. This is an interesting test right here. We're using the FM hiss. Where's the volume control? Oh my gosh. Treble and bass. Okay, I'm going to turn them both up full. And the volume. Hey, where's the volume control on this? Oh, it's this great. No, it's this great big knob here. This gigantic knob. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, we can do this together. I'm just going to switch from speaker to speaker here. Let's aim them both outwards. From here to here to here to here. We'll just hear what the difference is. Here we go. Oh, that's a dramatic difference. There's nothing coming out of here. How come? How come you're not making any sound? Well, that's a little surprising. Well, right off the bat, we're in trouble here. Unexpectedly. So I'm going to disconnect this speaker just to get it out of the way. Because my bench is so crowded here. Now, what are the chances that only one channel is working on this? It's pretty much nil, but we're going to have to move the this speaker over to know. I have no reason to think this amplifier or receiver is not working. How come this would not work? Nothing. How can this be? Turn it up a bit. 0. Wow, I'm glad he did this because already something unexpected is happening. I'm going to take this out of the cabinet here. Maybe I pinched the wire so much when I put the cabinet back on that it cut the wire. I can't imagine that. Well, this is very surprising. I certainly expected it to work. The two speakers in there, they look like ordinary speakers. They don't look like anything special. Something unexpected has happened, I think. That's what. It's kind of the definition of life, isn't it? Something unexpected happened. it looks like the conductors are exposed here where I pinched it. And you know, I heard some funny clicking in here when I had this hooked up. And I thought, well, what's that? Some kind of protection. I think I shorted it right here. Quickly, Swedish fish knife. No shop is complete without a Swedish fish knife. And if you really got a well-equipped shop, you've also got a Finnish fish knife handy. Nothing like Scandinavian knives. Okay, so I've parted the wire here. This has to stand up to reach. The amplifier's still on. I never turned it off, so this should come on right away. Unless I blew up the amplifier by putting a shorted wire on it. Is that what I did? The clicking was the sound of the parts frying inside here. There we go. Ah, nothing. We get nothing. Wait a minute. Nothing. Is this definitely on? It's on. I can't believe it. We're getting nothing. Not a thing. That's what nothing means. I'm really shocked. How can it be? Did I cut the wire right through? Doesn't feel like it. And you'd think too the speaker would make sound here as I'm fooling around. What could be going on here that I can't imagine what's going on here. I could hook straight up onto the terminals of the speaker and see what we can get out of it that way. This is just totally, you know, what is it about my shop and projects I do? they all turn into craziness, just craziness stuff. Now I need some little chips of wire, and of course I've cleaned up my shop. Here's some here. Yeah, speaker was on because I heard it. I heard it come out. Speakers. There's a center speaker connection here. Oh. Really? There must be more to this than I realize if it has a center speaker. Okay. Clip leads. Okay, we're going to check the clip leads first by using the other speaker. Oh, for crying out loud, I need more little chips of wire here. How many more wire pieces? Another anything, something, anything. Here we are. How about a sewing needle? Okay, output from the stereo. Nothing here. What's going on? Come on. Did I blow this? Did I blow the stereo up? These wires didn't look shorted. They really didn't look shorted. What's going on? Maybe there's a, some stereos mute themselves on FM between stations. Well, it shows a frequency on the it's tuned into FM. Oh my gosh. That's AM. That's FM. Why are you not making any sound? Balance. Oh, I had to balance all the way one way, but that's not helping either. Come on, come on. It's another shop project by Jim. Clip lead's bad. Wrong speakers selected. How do I know which speakers are selected here? And they bump it. Speakers. Well, I pushed the button. It didn't do anything. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? Is there a headphone jack on this? There is a headphone jack. Okay. We're going back. We're going in the wrong direction here. Plug headphones in. I don't hear a thing. What is happening? Oh yes, I had the volume down. Okay, volume's up. You know what I think happened? I think when I went to turn the balance control, I turned the treble control. Okay. Okay. I have to troubleshoot my own treble. That sounded pretty nice. Now we're going to compare these. So we need to hook them back up the way they were. Okay, let me just get that together here. Crazy. Okay, got this speaker wired just to see if it works. That's coming out of here. Great, now we get both speakers connected again. And we will then be able to compare their sound. And what I'm trying to do is reassure myself that I can just feed a signal into this speaker. And you know, I'm pretty sure of that, but I want to be reassured of it before I start doing more with them. And these, as I mentioned, these speakers I use as my rear speakers on our main television, and they aren't the best. And I think these are probably better, but let's find out. That's the other idea here. I'm going to try to get these to be white is red in proper polarity. Okay, all is connected. All is connected. So what we'll do is just going to tone back and forth, listening to the hiss. The FM hiss is a very handy way to test speakers. Here we go. Okay. It's this one. This one sounds better. But we don't listen to hiss, do we? We listen to things like a CD. So I'm going to try playing the CD. Now you can only hear a few seconds of it, like, as I mentioned, or I'll get a copyright hit. It's not a disaster to get a copyright hit. It's not like you know, cops come to your house and beat you up or anything like that. But I'd rather not. So we're going to flip this over to CD. And this stopped spinning. Why did it stop spinning? Could be problems here too. I don't know for sure that this even works. There's a volume control on it. Turn it down about to there. I don't know if that volume control affects the output here. Okay. Play. Volume up. some problems with the CD. Oh, I won't get a copyright hit for this. Oh, turning the wrong control. This speaker. Okay, hit coming. Copyright hit coming. So I'm going to play with this with my own ears, and then I'm going to report to you what I think is the deal. Who's better? Okay, I can get away with just a few seconds. So we're going to listen to one speaker, then the other. I'll point to the one that we're listening to just for a few seconds with some more Yes music here. Here we go. Both. Okay, I don't know if I got away with that or not. This speaker sounds better. So, it's bigger. Bigger, better. But the thing is, I can still utilize these in another location. I'm not going to replace this big one with that, but I have other speakers. So I've proven that this can be done. No surprise. Took me a lot of effort. But I can bring these two speakers back into service here in my house somewhere and make use of them rather than have them just taking up space. So I think that might be the end of this video. What a crazy thing. I had no idea I was going to get to this. And look at that, the CD player still works. So this would be from this would be 1978, I think, when this was played on the radio station, and it would have been probably 3-4 years later it was handed to me. Something like that. Hey, how do you like that? Good Sony product. Well, thanks a lot for watching this. It's kind of a goofy video, and tomorrow, well, in the meantime, I'm still working on painting that radio, so maybe I'll have the radio back together for tomorrow. Great. Thanks a lot for watching. See ya.